Alrighty, what is up, everybody? We are here. We are live. We are watching Siege X to start us off here.
What's up, folks? The reveal is nigh. District on dual front on district. Okay. So it's like laser tag. Essentially, right?
What do you mean?
This game mode. Capture the enemy zones while defending your own zone.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean now. I see what you mean.
What's that place we used to go to at boot camp?
Oh, I don't remember the name.
I forgot the name of it. It was a cool name. It was laser something in the name.
This looks like...
That looks like Outback or some shit. The neutral sector. That's the mid zone.
an outdoor map, too.
Yeah, right. So
District is a new map created exclusively for Dual Front and built to change with ongoing updates. This map is uniquely designed to support the exciting gameplay of Dual Front and create new possibilities we've never seen before in Siege. Let's break it down. Two symmetrical fronts, each featuring 3 sectors, set up the main framework of the map.
So is it essentially
Teams must capture one front while
domination?
simultaneously defending the other as they work their way deeper and deeper into enemy territory. The ultimate goal? Reach the final sector and destroy the prototype in the enemy's HQ. The map's layout balances open areas and strategic choke points, demanding coordination and adaptability. Oh, and when I say open areas,
It's kind of,
this
you
also
kind of have to play
includes
like,
outside.
capture
Players
the
will now be
flag
able to
or,
move between indoor and outdoor spaces, extending their defenses beyond the walls of the building and setting up for some devastating ambushes. So if you
like,
don't
remember how we
drone,
played capture the
it's
flag in
time to
Halo?
start.
And, like, two
If the
people have
enemy
to sit
does
back
catch
and
you
kind
off
of
guard
defend, and then
and
a couple
eliminate
people
you,
go out and try
you'll
and
be able
push
to
and deal
return to the
damage on the
fight
other people's
as your
on the
currently
person's
selected
base,
operator or
grab the
select a
flag.
different operator for a tactical adjustment. Success hinges on balancing offense, defense, and team composition while seizing every opportunity to lead your team to victory. Which brings us to the neutral sector, a central area where a time-limited assignment will offer you the chance to shift the momentum of battle. Here's a preview of our first seasonal assignment.
Yeah, you gotta have to like who's gonna stay around, who's gonna hang out in the defense, and who's gonna.
Intel has zeroed in
The
on
respawn
an
times are
available
gonna be
assignment in the
huge.
neutral sector. The enemy has started the
I
extraction.
really think that has like you have to dedicate like 2-3 people to defending, and then the rest have to be attackers, and it's like vice versa.
Or even have like a rotation go down. Like if you were to, I guess, infiltrate and you die, then the guy defending pushes up to infiltrate while you start defending.
Proceed to extraction.
Yeah.
Excellent work. You've completed the assignment.
We rescued Dokkaebi.
Wow, look at that.
The neutral
Doesn't seem
sector
safe to do
is
all
a
hands-on.
high-stakes conflict zone where bold plays lead to game-changing rewards. Players can tackle the time-limited assignment
New
that
assignment
will
every
grant
season.
valuable
Okay.
bonuses. It's important to keep in mind that taking this
That doesn't
risk
seem like
means
something that'll
leaving
be
key
ranked, though.
positions open. As every operator
Yeah, like a
participating
community
in the
challenge, right?
assignment is one less operator in your attack or defense frontline. The race to secure these objectives is intense, and success in the neutral sector can tip the scales of victory, making it a battleground where split-second decisions and daring strategies can define the match. With each new season, players can expect a new assignment in Dual Front. This means new narrative, gameplay, and neutral sector map updates.
Dual Front was built from the ground up to use the strengths of Siege, while adding new twists.
Neutral sector with Cali.
If you're new to Siege, this is a perfect game mode to play. Everyone is on a level playing field with a single new map to learn. There's also a limited operator pool, allowing players to focus on a smaller roster. We will be changing the operators in this pool twice a season so that a new exciting meta is just around the corner. Finally, we all know that every life is a lesson. Respawn is an important part of this mode, allowing players to experiment and learn through play. You can join the closed beta later today on PC and current-gen consoles.
Yeah, metas, woohoo.
Not metas.
Your feedback
No,
will help
the-
us release the
the beta
best
gameplay.
experience for Siege.
Now that you know what Dual Front is, it's time to see it in action. Let's kick it over. Let's kick it over to our legendary casters and see your favorite creators exploring and discovering all Dual Front has to offer right now.
Thank you so very much. The new permanent game mode that we were sworn to secrecy on, we couldn't talk about it. They said, you're not allowed to. And we said, okay, you know what? I want to hear how loud you can get. Now, remember when I said that there would be a surprise later
Who's
on?
playing
Joshua
first?
just told you straight up, you can play Dual Front today. All you need to do is connect your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, and then watch about 30 minutes either on this stream or on one of the partnered streams, and you will get a Twitch drop of a beta code to try Dual Front. Servers go live
There you
when
go.
we wrap up here, so in just a couple hours. And it'll be available on PC and current gen consoles. Kind of sucks for the people in the audience that you don't get to play, huh? Yeah, well, that's okay.
No,
Don't boo me, you're excited. Hey, hey, hey. But how excited are you for Dual Front? How excited are you for that, what looked like a weapon
We can give
inspection?
it a shot.
They got very, very loud.
I mean, respectfully so. You know, we finally now can inspect it. But I mean, for Dual Front specifically, I did get to try it. And I'm jealous that they get to play it now, and I got to sit here and talk about it because I truly had so much fun within that time frame that I was able to play. You didn't get to play.
I didn't get
So
to play
you
it.
Still don't know what it's like.
I have
but
no idea.
Truthfully, it's a wonderful game mode.
Would you say you were excited?
I was more than excited.
Wonderful. We've got 48 content creators here to take us through Dual Front, and in just a moment, we'll be getting into the game. And honestly, because I haven't played it, am just as eager to see it in action as all of you are. We'll be going through how the actual objectives progress. How does that neutral sector actually work? What are the rewards that they get? And how does the matchup ebb and flow? And the one thing that I am most particularly looking forward to is you and I first started playing Siege
think
in
we should
year
try
one.
it?
We have got to see this game
Yeah, hard
grow
drive
from the
space.
very beginning. And if you go back and you look at Siege as a regular game,
This is true.
the way that it was played back in 2016 is very different from the way it's played now.
Oh my
I have
God,
no
yeah.
doubt that Dual Front is going to function the same way. Now, in just a couple seconds, we'll intro our very first set of teams, and it will be fascinating to see how they tackle our newest permanent game mode in Siege X. What are your expectations before we get into the match?
To be honest, there's no expectations that can be met truthfully because this is a new game mode. This is an undeveloped area where people are going to be figuring out. We're going to be understanding what it's going to look like,
who
what
plays
we
for-
can see.
Team Lacey and Team
Varsity
Stable
versus
Ronaldo
Frankie.
will
Let's
be the
go.
first set of teams. We are in the operator selection phase, seconds out from the first look at Dual Front. Operators are locked in. Are you ready for the next era of Siege? Folks, let's get underway with our first matchup of Dual Front.
So this is already super unique. You know, when you start, you have the
it,
6
lock in?
operators that you are choosing from.
I wish
I
they
believe
gave
if I'm
them
not
like
wrong,
different
you will always be at
like
the front, so you can
uniforms or
always feel like
something.
you are the
They're all
leader
kind
in
of
this scenario,
it's all
leading
over
your
the place.
team.
But
But
oh well.
again, what's so unique about this is when you think about Siege as a whole, it's always been 5v5. Now you are adding that key element of bringing a
pretty
6th
cool. I
player
like that.
onto that squad, which allows so many different ways to approach
the,
Siege
new
and how you
scoreboard
want to play
interface
it. And
and
again,
map.
another big thing is you
I guess
can
that's just
mesh
for the,
attackers
game
with
type, do you think?
defenders.
For this game mode,
Now,
yeah, might,
while
maybe.
you had
I
some
know, like,
hands-on
the
experience
down
and you are
is
a
gonna be
former
the
pro
new shit.
player, and a former world champion. It's not your expertise that we're going to lean on here, Gabe. We have brought up both Alex and Josh from the keynote to help us
tell me that
understand
gas,
the way that this
that
works.
gas.
Gentlemen, first things first.
Prep time left.
What a day.
Guessing could get shot
What
and blow
a
up
day.
every
I
single
mean,
time.
I think you were prepared for the audience to get loud, but would you say you were a little caught off guard with the enthusiasm that
I
we're seeing?
guess so.
I mean, we've been waiting for this moment
There's
for
a
3
gas
years
pipe
now,
on the
so, and we're still not
was
prepared
red.
for it. This is really
Oh,
exciting.
maybe.
The teams pour their hearts into this, and now we get to see it live in action.
Yeah, like that.
Oh yeah, that little that thing.
Action, right? You hear
Wow,
the
we
people,
want to see
you
back.
get to experience that full hand, and it feels so awesome to finally be talking about all this.
I'm going upstairs,
Now,
upstairs.
the way that you conceptualize this game mode being played might differ from what we see today. But is it fair to say, Alex, that you're expecting players to literally
30-second
problem solve
respawn
as it goes along, and that there isn't really a defined correct way to play
They're trying.
based on when you built the game?
I mean, we've been playtesting this for over a year now, and we're still learning new things, new combinations of operators. This is the first time we're taking attackers and defenders together on the same team, but we're keeping that attack and defend philosophy alive, where you have one lane, one front to push, and one front to defend. So yeah, it's all new.
Well, and as I was saying, you know, the key element
yeah,
of adding a
this
sixth
is-
player
a
to
lot
that
of them
squad,
don't
I mean,
look that
Siege
good,
for the
bro.
past 10 years has been 5. I mean, what was the decision to bring that extra element of
Well, who's
surprise and
Sypho?
putting a sixth member onto that roster?
I haven't
One
heard
of
of
the big
some of
goals
these
we
people.
had with Dual Front is to actually make Siege more approachable. So, and one of the ways of doing that is to kind of lower that social pressure of having to, if you die in a
Nice shot.
5v5, 4v5, that's a big detriment to your team. So in 6v6, you actually get to carry that weight a little bit more evenly. Additionally, obviously, the respawn is going to help with that and help people feel more confident and learn over time. But that's definitely a driving force there.
I just want to touch on something here, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but we've got our first objective
Are, they,
at
are
play.
these all
What if
PC
you'd like to
people,
take
or
us
is it a
through
mix of
what
controller
exactly
and?
is happening
It looks
in the
like
game?
just PC.
Yeah, so the attacking team has actually planted the diffuser, and now
Yo,
we have
someone's gotta
actual
stop this-
segments to the
stop
diffuser
Uzi.
timer.
He's-
So
he's
the defending
teabagging
team
everybody.
comes in and deactivates it. It might save a bit of the progress that they achieved there. And this is one of 3 objectives that they have to secure now.
That would explain why we have
Also
the 3
three different-
segments on the diffuser.
Okay.
That's right.
So if you stop it, it'll go back to the last tick, if we want to call it that.
That's right.
And then you basically paused it. So it functions very similarly to regular Siege in the sense that you have to control the objective, you have to get that diffuser planted.
And I love specifically that you guys talked about, you know, regardless of this being a brand new game mode, you guys are still keeping that core value of what Siege has always been in terms of that tech.
It's
that
king of the
tactical
hill.
prowess and what you can do with it in
Basically.
Siege. And I think just being able to bring attackers with defenders can
But
really
I think at the
set
same
up that
time, like
strategical
they have a
even more
thing
in
that
depth
they
than
have to
what we've
defend
currently
as well.
seen throughout Siege.
I mean, that's the magic of it. As when you're playing this, you
Well-
have to go on the attack. You get the attack, and then you got to
They-
go into the
aren't-
defense.
aren't
within
they-
the same
it
lane.
looks like they're
So
both trying
it
to
varies
attack
up
and
what you're able to
defend
do
with
there,
2
like bringing
points,
Nomad
aren't they?
on Attack. Obviously, we've done that
Well, that's what
a
I'm
thousand
saying,
times,
now
but
they
putting
just
her into
planted
the
on the
defense
first
and making
point,
for the
on the
post
first
plant,
point on the other
it's all
team,
about
so.
that.
It's almost like they're fighting on dual fronts.
And now we see that the other team has planted the diffuser as well. So both are active at the same time. Teams have to recoup, regroup, and understand how they can recapture the site now that the plant's gone down.
The red team succeeded, it looks like, in their very first capture. So now
dang.
what happens? Oh,
He left
is
them
Uzi
down.
going to get it?
Left them down.
They've already lost 1 tick, as you talked about.
Yep.
And it'll roll back. So like that progress they earned and they fought for, they get to keep, but they didn't get all the way for the next sector of the actual objective, so that's lost.
And what I'm seeing now with the front A team, they have that first one secured. Now that timer is going. So essentially, does that now force them to now play
Nope,
the
Frankie's
defense,
in.
wait for that next sector to open up, and then make that transition with that rotation?
Yeah, that beat there is actually leading into essentially a prep phase for that new sector. So our attackers in that lane are going into prep, using their drones, looking forward, or they could rotate in through the neutral sector over to defense and help shore up your own defense.
Now, I want to ask you guys, because you've obviously
your
had
days.
some
My
time
stream's a little
playing
bit ahead,
through it.
yeah.
What is your ideal lineup that you've ran the most, that you've experimented with the absolute most, whether that's on the defensive side or the attacking side?
They're bouncing.
Yo,
They're just
Shady,
very
thank you for the
excited to
follow.
play the game.
It's amazing running Nomad on defense.
I like it.
How am
Never
I going? I'm not
experienced it
going anywhere.
before, and just doing that is amazing.
I'm about to say, you'll never hear anything coming from me in terms of Nomad with how much I love Nomad. I think Parker knows that as much as well. I played flank watch aggressively, so the fact that you can use those air jabs on defense to get those down cues, to get that quick reaction, to net one of those eliminations, I mean, Nomad's massive on defense.
I mean, Gabe, when you played professionally, if there was a spot on a map to be as far away from the action as possible, you were there.
Absolutely. So you would have
You loved it.
110% find me at that neutral sector where I am not going to be in the thick of it, but I am going to be trying to lurk my way through and see what is open and what isn't.
Now, one thing that you mentioned while talking about the game was that you're going to be swapping up the operators twice a season. Now,
shall we, Frank?
what's the thought process behind which operators you bring in, which operators you bring out, and will it be a full-scale swap? Are we talking every operator is gone, or are you just going to bring in a couple and remove maybe some particularly strong or weak ops?
Yeah, so one of the big things is we want to make sure that the Pathfinders that are earned through our newcomer challenges are going to be available at all times. Again, like you always want to be able to have some of your ops to be able to play, but outside that, we're going to be almost doing kind of like a crafted meta or ideas around that. Maybe we put a lot of hard breach up, maybe we put a lot of trap, or maybe remove both and see what happens now. Like, what can you do if you don't have electricity available to you? What can you do if you don't have, like, you know, a lot of area denial and so on and so forth?
So I don't think this was mentioned by you guys, but what I am noticing is I'm looking at the character, the utility, it's regenerating.
Yeah, this is a way that we can actually balance the operators over a long period of time. We're talking rounds are lasting about 15, 20 minutes. So you can actually stack quite a bit of utility if you don't have this new system, and the team worked really hard on that.
Okay, we'll follow up with that. So are you saying that Capcan can essentially lay down 6, 7 traps at a time?
I'm going to take that one. So one of the things about regenerative gadgets is that you can deploy based on the max that's been determined for dual front. So some of those values may differ from the core Siege experience, but additionally, whatever your last place gadget was, if you place a new one, it'll destroy that one and then move forward, just to make sure things are in line.
Perfect.
You're telling me I can't put down 20 Capcan traps?
I was
and
about to
just
say, I hope there's a
sabotage
cap
the
on
whole
that.
Yeah, I mean, if we rewind time a
that
couple
has
years
to be.
ago, you could have, and let me be honest, like, you know, it became an HR problem. So
I was actually, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking, I was like, what if someone just brings Mira and just lays down a lot of her windows and then immediately transitions off of that to a different operator and then uses them?
I'm thinking the Maestro. You just swap evil eye cams over
Sure.
and over and over again. You got unlimited laser beams.
We already thought of that. So if you're repicking your operator, the operator you were previously, all their gadgets disappear. And then you're jumping back in with a new operator to do a new strategy.
additionally, you can actually see as operators are being swapped out and respawning, they go back to being unknown because we don't know who's coming up in that lineup again. So that's another thing you'll have to adapt to as you're on the field.
I'm not a
Doc is
developer.
going to be
I
used.
don't balance this game.
Doc and I
I
can
can
feel
only
it. Doc and
imagine
Thunderbird
how
will be
tricky
huge
it has
here.
been to find a way to make everything work. But before we get there, one of the beautiful things about having all these content creators in person is that we get to hear from them live in action. Patricia has an interview ready for us down on the stage.
Thank you, guys. I am here with Skittles.
It's
How you
Ash.
doing?
Doing great.
Skittles, I would love to get your first impressions of Siege X. How you feeling about it right now?
I'm absorbing everything. This is a completely new game. We got a big map.